Pope Francis met with members of the Vatican Dicastery for Communications. Archbishop of Manila, Cardinal Tagle, will baptize 450 street children this week at the Metropolitan Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception.
Could Pope Francis really be ousted? Recent whispers from the Vatican suggest that an extraordinary shift in the Catholic Church's leadership could be underway. The unexpected name surfacing as a potential successor is none other than Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, a rising star known for his humility and strong connection to the global faithful. But what's driving these speculations?
Us as a family of faith at this closing Mass of the National Eucharistic Congress.
And is it possible that Pope Francis, one of the most transformative leaders of our time, might step aside to make room for new leadership? Stick around as we delve into this fascinating story, exploring the challenges Pope Francis has faced, Cardinal Tagle's growing influence, and what this potential shift could mean for the future of the Catholic Church. This is a story of power, faith, and a church at a crossroads that you won't want to miss. The Catholic Church has long been a pillar of faith for over 1 billion people worldwide, but its leadership is now under intense scrutiny. Pope Francis, the 266th pontiff and a transformative figure known for his progressive stance, has led the Church since 2013. His tenure has been marked by groundbreaking reforms, including a renewed focus on inclusivity, environmental stewardship, and addressing scandals that have rocked the Church. However, his papacy has not been without its controversies. Traditionalists within the Church have pushed back against his modernizing efforts, creating a growing divide within the Vatican and beyond. Enter Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, a Filipino prelate whose reputation as a compassionate and forward-thinking leader has garnered significant attention. Known for his emotional sermons and dedication to serving the poor,
It is still the reality of poverty, extreme poverty, that has an impact on the family.
Cardinal Tagle has often been seen as a bridge between the Church's conservative and progressive factions. Recently appointed to prominent positions in the Vatican, his rise has fueled speculation that he could be next in line for the papacy. What makes this potential leadership change so intriguing is its timing. Pope Francis has been open about the possibility of resigning, citing health issues and the immense burden of his role. While there is no official confirmation of his resignation, the growing influence of Cardinal Tagle has led many to wonder, is the Catholic Church on the brink of a historic transition? And what would such a change mean for the Church's direction in the 21st century? The implications of this potential shift are enormous. A change in leadership could redefine the Church's priorities, its approach to global issues, and its relationship with its followers. It's a moment filled with both promise and uncertainty, making it one of the most critical junctures in the Church's history. To understand the possibility of a leadership change, we must first explore the challenges Pope Francis has faced during his papacy. From the moment he stepped into the role, Pope Francis made it clear that his vision for the Church would be different. His emphasis on mercy, inclusivity, and social justice was a breath of fresh air for many, but it also sparked significant backlash from traditionalists. One of the most contentious issues has been Pope Francis's approach to LGBTQ+ rights. His statement, "Who am I to judge?" was groundbreaking.
Ser homosexual no es un delito. No es un delito.
But it also drew sharp criticism from conservative factions within the Church. They argue that his progressive stance undermines traditional Catholic teachings, creating division within the clergy and among the faithful. Another major challenge has been addressing the sexual abuse scandals that have plagued the Church for decades. While Pope Francis has taken steps to hold clergy accountable and support victims, critics argue that his actions have not gone far enough. The lingering perception that the Church has not fully reckoned with these issues continues to tarnish its reputation and erode trust among followers. Pope Francis's outspoken views on climate change and economic inequality have also made him a polarizing figure on the global stage. His encyclical Laudato Si, which called for urgent action to combat environmental degradation, was celebrated by environmentalists, but criticized by those who saw it as overly political. Similarly, his advocacy for economic justice has put him at odds with powerful political and financial interests, further complicating his leadership. Adding to these challenges are Pope Francis's health issues. At 87 years old, he has faced multiple surgeries and struggles with mobility, often relying on a wheelchair or cane. These physical limitations have raised questions about his ability to continue leading the Church effectively, prompting speculation about a potential resignation. The growing divide within the Vatican itself cannot be ignored. The tension between traditionalists and reformists has created an environment of internal conflict, making it increasingly difficult for Pope Francis to push forward with his agenda. High-ranking officials have reportedly resisted his reforms, further complicating his ability to enact meaningful change. Amid these challenges, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle has emerged as a prominent figure within the Catholic Church. Born in the Philippines, Cardinal Tagle has been described as a Pope Francis ally and shares many of the current Pope's values, including a focus on humility, inclusivity, and social justice. His rise within the Vatican hierarchy has been nothing short of remarkable. Cardinal Tagle's background sets him apart. Coming from Asia, a region with a growing Catholic population, he represents the Church's efforts to expand its influence globally. His ability to connect with people on a deeply emotional level has earned him widespread admiration, particularly among the youth and marginalized communities. Known for his powerful sermons and approachable demeanor, he has been dubbed the Asian Francis. In 2019, Pope Francis appointed Cardinal Tagle as the prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, a significant role that oversees missionary work and the Church's presence in developing countries. This appointment was seen as a clear indication of his growing influence and alignment with Pope Francis's vision for the Church. However, Cardinal Tagle's rise has not been without its critics. Traditionalists view him as too progressive and worry that his leadership could further distance the Church from its conservative roots. Despite this, he has built a strong network of supporters within the Vatican and beyond, positioning himself as a unifying figure capable of bridging the divide within the Church. The rumors of Cardinal Tagle potentially taking over have sparked mixed reactions. For some, his leadership represents hope for a more inclusive and globally connected Church. For others, it raises concerns about the Church moving too far from its traditional teachings. The debate reflects the broader challenges the Catholic Church faces in balancing tradition with the need to adapt to a rapidly changing world. Recent developments from the Vatican have added fuel to the speculation about a potential leadership transition. While Pope Francis has not made any official announcements, his public comments about the possibility of resignation have been telling. In interviews, he has spoken candidly about the physical and mental toll of his role, expressing admiration for Pope Benedict XVI's decision to step down. Additionally, the Vatican has seen a noticeable shift in power dynamics, with Cardinal Tagle being entrusted with increasingly significant responsibilities. This has led many to view him as the natural successor to Pope Francis, should a resignation occur. Reports from Vatican insiders suggest that discussions about the future of the Church's leadership are already underway, though no concrete decisions have been made. The implications of a leadership change are profound. If Cardinal Tagle were to take over, it would mark a historic moment for the Catholic Church. He would be the first Asian pope, symbolizing the Church's growing presence in the global South. His leadership could bring fresh perspectives to the Church's approach to social issues, interfaith dialogue, and global crises. However, this transition would not be without challenges. Cardinal Tagle would inherit a Church deeply divided over its direction, with traditionalists likely to resist any further reforms. Navigating these tensions while addressing the pressing issues of our time would require exceptional leadership and diplomacy. The potential ousting of Pope Francis and the rise of Cardinal Tagle represent a pivotal moment in the history of the Catholic Church. Pope Francis's transformative leadership has left an indelible mark, but the challenges he faces have raised questions about the Church's future. Cardinal Tagle's emergence as a potential successor highlights the Church's evolving priorities and its need to adapt to a changing world. Whether or not Pope Francis steps down, one thing is certain: the Catholic Church is at a crossroads. The decisions made in the coming months will shape its direction for decades to come, influencing not only its internal dynamics, but also its role on the global stage. What do you think about the possibility of Cardinal Tagle taking over as the next pope? Could this be the change the Catholic Church needs, or is it a step too far from tradition? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to watch our next video for more insights into the future of the Vatican.